Today I'm going to show you some steps for how you can create a paper weaving. Paper weaving is a great introduction to the art of weaving and also good practice for remembering patterns. You will need at least 2 pieces of paper that are the same size, and it helps if they are different colors. You'll also need a ruler or something that has a straight edge to help you make straight lines. Lastly, you'll need scissors, a pencil, and you'll also need glue. First, we need to fold one of the pieces in half to create the loom. In traditional weaving, like if you're using string or yarn for example, the loom is what holds the woven project together. For our paper weaving today, the loom will be made using folded paper. Hold your paper vertically and then fold the paper in half. Folding paper takes practice, so take your time and work slowly to line up your edges and your corners. Double check your corners to see that they are matching, and then hold with one hand and crease the bottom with the other hand. Okay, now I need my fold to be at the bottom, and I need my opening to be at the top. Now, using my ruler, I am going to draw a horizontal line at the top opening. Remember, horizontal lines go side to side. When I begin cutting later on, that horizontal line is going to help me remember where to stop. Next, I'm going to draw vertical lines across the front of my folded paper. Vertical lines go up and down. Since my ruler isn't very thick, I'm using the thickness of my ruler as a guide to help make sure all of my spaces are the same width. If you don't have a ruler, it's all good. You can simply estimate and try your best to make your spaces the same thickness. Now I'm ready to start cutting. I'm going to start by cutting at the bottom where the fold is and cut straight up and stop at my guideline. If I keep going through that line, I'm going to end up cutting part of my loom off. Cut, 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 stop at the guideline. Cut, 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 stop at the guideline. And there we go. There's my paper loom for paper weaving. Now I need to cut some strips so that I have paper to weave in and out of my loom. To make strips, I can use a ruler like I did to make my loom, or I could fold my paper several times to make my strips. First, I'm going to show you how to use the ruler to make your strips. Now I'm going to show you the folding technique. I'm folding in half once, folding in half again, and then folding in half 3 times. And then I'm going to unfold my paper, and I'll have those fold lines that I could cut. This is a great way to make your strips if you don't have a ruler. Now I'm ready to start the weaving process. The most important thing to remember when you're weaving is the pattern of the weaving. The pattern I'm using today is an A-B pattern, and I will weave my strips going over, under, over, under, over, under. I'm going to start at the side of my loom, and using my strip, I'm going to go under first, then over the next one, purple on top of green. Then I'm going to go to the next one and go under, then over, then under, then over, under, over, and then I'm going to push that strip all the way up to the top. Now, with my next strip, I'm going to start at the same side again, but this time I'm going to do the opposite. I'll go over first, then under, then over, then under, until I reach the other side of the loom. Each time I weave a new strip, I'm going to push it up or down against the other strips so that the weaving stays together nice and tight. Here I'm about ready to weave my third strip, and I can see that there's a pattern forming. I started under, then over, now I'm going under again, and repeating that same over, under, over, under, over, under pattern every time I weave a new strip. When you are done, it's time to glue all of the end pieces to the loom. You'll want to glue all of the end pieces that are on the front, and then also flip your weaving over and glue all of the end pieces that are on the back. And now I have a finished paper weaving. From here, I could keep this as a piece of art all on its own, or I could even use it as a starting point for something else. It would make an interesting background for something, like I could draw a vase of flowers and cut it out and glue it to the background. Or let's see, it kind of reminds me of a quilt or a blanket design, and I could make a person sleeping and put them underneath the blanket. I could use the shape punchers to punch out different shapes and glue them on. I could cut some fancy fringe at the end and make it look like a rug or a carpet. The possibilities are endless. Use your imagination and see what you can come up with for your weaving.